Hello, Ryan Parker here with the Parker team at Nova Home Loans in the Phoenix metropolitan area. Just wanted to go over a few quick, very important key situations of what to do or what not to do prior, during, and after the mortgage process. The first thing I want to talk about is avoiding making large purchases, vehicles, appliances, furniture. Um, be very careful with those situations. You definitely want to discuss that with your loan officer prior to doing it. Stay away from having your credit pulled by any entities during the process. We're going to question you and prove and ensure that no other debts were created. Because if there were debts created, then your pre-qualification is theoretically no longer good, and we need to revisit the numbers. Even for the highly qualified and well qualified consumers, it's still very important that you don't do those things during the process. It truly complicates it. It creates length, longer length into the mortgage process, meaning more time is needed to process that loan because there's additional verifications that need to take place. So refrain from making large deposits, pulling your credit for any reason. If it's just a must, make sure you discuss it with your loan officer in advance of doing it so we can structure it properly. Also, changing employment and jobs during the course of getting pre-qualified, or if you're under contract, or if you're in the middle of refinancing, it's just a huge no-no. Especially if you're changing position types, career fields, you just can't do that during the mortgage process. So don't change jobs, husband or wife, anybody on the loan, stay away from those situations. I wouldn't even bother applying for a job during the mortgage transaction. You'd be surprised at what some of these background checks can produce. Large deposits. So if you're making a cash deposit in excess of $250 into any account, and that's cash, a check from a friend paying you back for something, if it's money from grandma and grandpa or a relative who's giving you money for your down payment, we need to discuss that well in advance of getting under contract, making offers to ensure we structure that perfectly. We don't want to just throw money in your account because we're going to ask where it came from. You have to produce documentation. If it ends up being cash or even a smaller check, it's going to be questions. You're not going to be able to utilize that for your actual down payment on the home, and you're going to be pretty upset about that. So let's discuss that well in advance of starting to write contracts. Even after closing, we need you to be very, very careful about pulling your credit. We really don't want you to do that for a good couple weeks, maybe even a month after, because as we're selling your loan to Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, FHA, and VA, sometimes they can do credit checks after you've been handed keys. So it's very important that you understand that we could get a buyback. We could come back to you and say, hey, you created too much debt. Now you don't qualify. We've got to figure something out. Once you do write a contract, make sure during the process in which you're writing the earnest money check out to the title company, which we would like you not to do a money order, not to do a cashier's check, not to utilize cash. Those situations, you may not be able to use those funds unless they're perfectly documented within your transaction. So if you want to be able to use that as a credit in your transaction, we have to be able to source and see that your money actually went to the title company from your bank account through a check, or obtaining maybe a cashier's check from your bank statements at the bank, showing that that's the money that the title company received. Very, very important. So don't go get any gifts or anything like that till we help you structure it. It's very, very important. There's a few ways we prefer you to do that to avoid additional steps during the mortgage process, and also to help make it much easier on the person providing that money to you as a gift for your down payment or closing costs for the mortgage. We can really make this simple. We just need to have the discussion prior to the pre-qualification stage and in advance, so we can educate you and put you in the perfect direction so we can have a really smooth transaction. Also, I want to give you a quick couple tips. Get your appraisal paid for ASAP. Make sure you look at your mortgage disclosures and get those signed as soon as possible, whether we mail them or we send you a link to sign them online through digital signatures. Very, very important. Any documents that's needed throughout the process by your loan officer, your real estate professional, the title company, and of course your processor within the mortgage company, make sure you're obtaining those in a very, very quick fashion, especially if you want to close in time. Thanks for checking out my video today. I know it's pretty long, but wanted to give you some of these quick tips so we don't make any mistakes during the process. Again, my name's Ryan Parker. I'm with the Parker team here at Nova Home Loans in the Phoenix area. Feel free to reach out anytime. My cell number is 623-340-0344. Have an amazing day.